day to Roshni Magan, who's from the ShivDev Training Academy, and we're talking about a book called Revive, Revitalize and Recreate. So interesting stuff. A very good morning to you, Roshni. Welcome to Roshni. Welcome to Eastway Radio.
Thank you, Susanna, and a warm welcome to you as well. We say hi from the East End. It's a lovely morning, a bit chilly.
A bit chilly, yeah. I was just going to ask you, is it as chilly there as it is here?
Yeah, it is. But yeah, we're still surviving.
We're still surviving. I think we're a nation that just has to survive right now with everything that's happening around us.
Definitely.
Now, Roshni, you're part of the ShivDev Training Academy. Tell us a little bit about your involvement and, how you got to where you are today.
Okay, so ShivDev Training Academy was started in 2010 by Mina Mystery, and she started it to obviously take continuous professional development to health professionals. Mm-hmm. I got involved in the company as a speaker around about late 2012, 2013.
Okay.
And I've obviously grown with her quite a bit because I've done quite a bit of talks. So initially, although it was a speaker, I then became hands-on involved in the company. Mm-hmm. And we've just grown from that, from being just peer training and development for health professionals to taking training to areas like in sports, in education. Mm-hmm. So one of the cool things is that we were also involved with the principal, Vanessa Moodley, at Actonville Primary School. And that then prompted us, because she got her accreditation through the Health and Welfare CETA for counseling skills and HIV/AIDS. Mm-hmm. And we thought, what better way than making an impact on the community in terms of things that they require, and that was like the counseling skills. So we basically took 4 modules out of the full course and just created a skills program which gives people basic counseling skills.
Okay.
And yes, I pretty much, it's also my passion. I like to see people grow, see people do things, and being involved with children, obviously understanding that sometimes a bit of counseling goes a long way.
Most definitely.
Children obviously understanding that sometimes a bit of counseling goes a long way.
Most definitely. And I think, many a times we've had various counselors on Eastway Radio, and, it does definitely have a huge impact on a person's life, no matter what they're going through. Proper counseling and just some care can definitely change the course of a person's life.
Absolutely. You've just hit the nail on the head. Mm-hmm. So from that, like I said, we've, one of ShivDev's slogans, or I should say, ShivDev's slogan is train, transform and transcend.
Mm-hmm. Now, coming to our current situation, we know COVID-19 has sort of taken over the entire world. We see it everywhere. We're bombarded with this continuously in everything that you do, whether, you're back at work, whether you're still on lockdown, whether you're watching the news or television or social media. We're sort of bombarded with everything that's happening in the world as far as COVID-19 and the lockdown is concerned. How did this the idea of this particular book come to you?
Okay, so initially we became part of a lockdown wellness challenge that was created so we could post daily inspirational. There was a group of ladies, and we were posting on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So by the time it was day 3 of lockdown and being involved in this lockdown wellness challenge, we sort of had thoughts running through our mind, because yes, lots was happening out there. People were, getting ready. They were collecting funds to distribute food parcels, because that was like the basic necessity that people required in that. But sitting here, and we sort of, panning down things for Facebook, we thought that there's going to be more than just food that people are going to require.
Definitely.
And
I think this whole situation has taken a toll mentally on a lot of people as well.
Yes. And that is what spurred us on. And we thought, okay, it's not only for now, but what happens later. And, there was so much media hype. At the same time, there was so much news spreading. Not all of it was true. It means there was fake news spreading. And all of this was just having an emotional and mental impact on a lot of individuals. And this obviously spurred us on to say, what can we do that is different? What will assist? And we thought, well, why not? Nina and myself were chatting the one day on the phone, and suddenly, as we just have a good rapport between the two of us, so it clicked. Perhaps we need to do something in terms of post-survival. And what we then decided is, let's write something. It won't just be post-survival in terms of this lockdown or COVID-19, but any type of adversity that individuals face, because somehow we've got to get back on track. Because often what happens is that when adversity is suddenly sprung on you, there's two choices, because you can have negative reactions or we could have positive reactions.
Definitely.
And a lot of time it depends on the resilience of the individual. So either we could bounce back and start focusing on things that are important, or we could start drowning in despair.
Yes. And I think, like I said, with the current situation, there's so many facets that need to be addressed. Like you said, it's not just, food being one of the major things or major necessities right now. But I think mental health has sort of taken a back seat in terms of, people are very uncertain at this time as far as their jobs are concerned or, earning a living. There's different aspects that need to be looked at as far as the family dynamic has sort of changed somewhat with the lockdown as well.
Agree wholeheartedly, and this is where it, sort of, like I said, it spurred on because we realized that there's going to be emotional and mental experiences that people are going to be facing. And so the whole idea of writing something like revive, revitalize, and recreate. Because essentially, yes, a lot of us are going to have to perhaps rebuild, recreate ourselves in different aspects. As you say, I mean, there's people that have already lost their jobs.
Yes.
There's others that probably face retrenchment amid so many companies going into business rescue and either going into sort of closures. So there is going to be a high impact in terms of our mental stability. One of my class colleagues just sent us an article that was published in the States regarding the increase that they would probably be facing in terms of mental disorders.
Yes.
And we're not far from it either. It's a reality that you're going to face this type of things. Because what happens is that, we have, if we just take the current situation, there's people that are sort of saying to themselves that we're immune, so we just carry on doing everything we did every other day. And we see it happening. People would just walk around, do things as though it was a normal day.
Yeah.
Then you get others that are quite casual about it, thinking, okay, look, if it was meant to be that I need to die because of COVID-19, then so be it.
Yes.
And yes, we understand that if you do get sick or you do contract the virus, there's just two things. Either you're going to die or you're going to recover.
Yes.
But people are not thinking about the in-between.
Yeah.
Before you die or before you recover, there is a long process of suffering.
It is. And a lot of people are not taking this seriously. If you just look at, some of the shopping malls in and around Lenasia, for that instance, you see people still walking around casually, like you said, and really not taking the situation as serious as it is.
Yes. And I think like often, I think, Susanna, unless you suddenly like faced with somebody that's close to you and you can see what they're going through.
When the reality hits you, yeah.
That's the reality that would hit you, yes. And yeah, lastly, then you still get those that are, like you say, they're facing fear, uncertainty, they're worried. So obviously we start becoming anxious, our stress level starts increasing. And this all boils down to ultimately we would end up what, in psychological and psychiatric terms, people would call it post-traumatic stress disorders.
Yes.
And the reason, that was one of the reasons we're saying needs to be addressed. And we found that writing something, and this is like really a very simple and practical exercise. So there's no major reading, like I'm going to read tons and tons and tons of theory.
Yeah.
We've done it so that every person, anybody, you don't have to be a counselor, you don't have to be a coach, you don't have to be a psychologist. It's for the simple person to read and understand.
Now, talking about the book, Roshni, you said it's simple and it's easy to read. Is it sort of a guide? Does it walk you through? Does it give you a step-to-step method of how to, come out of adversity?
Okay, so essentially we talk about creating holistic wellness. And creating holistic wellness takes you through everything from physical wellness right up to the spiritual and soul wellness. So yes, it does. It gives you a small little discussion on maybe what physical wellness is. It then takes you through steps that you can do in terms of physical wellness. And part of these two sections in physical wellness has been authored by two of the other ladies that was involved in the Lockdown Wellness Challenge, namely Karuna Salunki and Hema Gosai. We then go in to talk about like your social wellness, your environmental wellness. We also provide little exercises that you do for yourself.
Okay.
We also talk about financial wellness and your career wellness. Then going into like your emotional wellness, your mental wellness, and then your spiritual, and lastly your soul wellness.
Okay.
So maybe just to give you a snippet which we've put into the book under our social wellness, where we talk about, I think we all know the famous saying that no man is an island, as said by John Donne. We said that man in essence thrives when in groups. They are not made to live in isolation for lengthy periods of time. Socialization is a norm and not an exception. It is the innate magnetism of human beings which causes them to engage with others because it creates a sense of belonging.
True.
And yes, as much as technology has created all different social media platforms, so we can stay interconnected, we have interaction with others. We ask a simple question, is this enough?
Yeah.
And so you as an individual would need to sit down and think, because for a lot it's not enough. What do we hear? We're hearing people saying, but I'm bored. I need to meet up with my friends. I need to talk about things. And this takes us to a simple thing where, we look at what was the centricity of your life before lockdown. Did it revolve around work or the office, having snippets of discussions with colleagues at the coffee machine? Was it socializing with friends and family and colleagues?
And the lockdown has actually, like you said, there's always, two sides of the coin, if you can say. And you can take it in a negative light, or you can take this lockdown to actually be a blessing in disguise. I think families now have more time to spend with each other, those that live together, obviously, and time to, reflect and sort of look within ourselves as to what are the important things in life and, what we try to achieve as far as material things and what actually matters at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and I think it is definitely a time for reflection. People have had to sit down and think, okay, what are the little things in my life that matter most?
Yes. Now, the book was released on the 12th of May, if I'm correct.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, we've actually launched it on Amazon already, so it's going to go well. However, it is on a ebook platform already with our IT lady, and that is also our illustrator, as the book would show. That's Koshambi Shukla, and she's done an excellent job in terms of putting all our graphics together for us in the book.
Perfect.
So, should anybody require it, we could always ask to see if she could release it in terms of an e-book already, but that depends entirely on whether, all the finalities have been done in terms of copyrights, etc., for it to be released to the public from our side.
Okay, perfect. So, Roshni, quickly just walk me through the price point for the book. Like you said, you don't know exactly when it will be released on Amazon, but the price point, and once it is released, what would be the procedure to actually go and purchase the book?
Okay. So in terms of, we would give readers or the public out there that it is now already reflecting. It's an ebook, so you basically can download it on, if you have a Kindle, it will be available for Kindle. You can download it on your smartphone. You could go ahead and download it on your laptop or your desktop. It's for it's a minimal amount. We're costing it at $5.99, which is sort of a reasonable price for a small little book. And the funds as such that we're raising is really to create a pool of funds to do training, development, and skilling as well as reskilling. Because we do understand that not everybody is going to be in a position to go out and say, well, I need to learn a new skill, or I need to learn to do something. And for all of that, you might need money. So we would like to give people the opportunity to get skilled, firstly in basic counseling skills, and then secondly even in any other type of reskilling they would require. So this would at least create a pool of funds that can be utilized for that purpose.
Great. Well, thank you, Roshni, for taking the time out to chat to us today, and we wish you everything of the best for the book as well. And anything else that you'd like to end off with?
Just to say to everybody, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. And yes, if they need assistance, I think already there is a lot of platforms, not just like I said in terms of the basic needs, but also in terms